two games don't matter because I played PT game one, because I was being a dick,
Yeah.
more than anything. And then game two he played Lucy, and that's like, yeah, that's my most familiar matchup in this
Okay.
game, so I'm chilling.
So you want to this game is gonna be you kind
This
of
game
more
gets a
comfortable.
little. I'm pretty comfortable against Palu. It gets a little bit spicy, but it's more. I want to compare this to Grands because I played him from Winterside and Grands.
Okay.
And like the same guy, and it went a lot like
Okay.
Winterside. I entered. I fucking played like Roy PT and a bunch of dumb shit, and then off the reset, I was playing a lot worse because I'd been a dumbass and put myself under a lot of pressure, and I
Okay.
kind of just want to compare the two and work out what changes when I'm in that mindset and like
Sure.
where to fix what to fix
Yeah,
from
yeah,
there.
yeah. I will definitely try and keep that stuff in mind as we went through. All right, let's start it then. FD, not a terrible stage. Let you open up, make it potentially easy to catch some of the landings.
Yeah, he picked it. I
Okay.
bodied him on PS2 twice, so.
I mean, you're running all over him right now. It seems like you have a really easy time getting in. Good movement there. I mean, just to bait him out, like you like, okay, yeah, come near me, and you dodge. I'm not sure that was snapback or a mistake on your part there, turning around for that
I
down
did
tilt.
Yeah, I did cop a lot of snapback through the whole tournament, so I think
Gotcha.
my controller's just fucked. I think I just need to
Yep,
get it
that'll
fixed.
happen. Will
Like I
happen.
did a couple pivot grabs that I was getting a bit
That was
annoyed
a
at.
weird down air. You like tickled him with it.
Yeah, that's not uncommon, which is really
I've
annoying.
never seen that. Okay.
People just like even after the buffs, people just kind of fall out.
Okay. Yeah.
I picked up a side B habit over the weekend too because
Yeah,
I
I'm
loved like
noticing.
keeping pressure, and it's really fucking bad. I'm
I'm
like after the tournament, I was like, nah, never doing that shit
Yeah,
again.
no,
Like,
that's some cheeky shit. You fight someone who's shielding, they're about to up smash you every time.
well, he was see game two, he was grabbing me for it on Lucy, and I was like, all right, well this gets me back to stage, so like
Alright, so
as long as I'm not getting F
let's see what
smash.
happens here. It takes your stock. Come down, jump over. He catches your landing with his nair. And then I actually
And
want
I die
to.
for it.
That DI is a little questionable. That's like a down and out. It needs to be like an up and out.
Yeah.
So you can see, I don't know if you know, like this like weird circle shockwave, is actually your DI angle.
I thought it was only the blue line. That blue
No,
line there.
the blue line is your to my knowledge, it's this shockwave.
Ah,
Either way,
okay.
you should have
Yeah.
held out and up here, right? Because you want to go
Yeah.
farther away as possible. Um, and then that's gonna get you away. But let's see what happens. And you get fared,
Just obvious
and then
recovery and
he
die for
comes
it.
through and he kills you. Honestly, you could have tried to get away with like an up B where you side beat right there. Cause like he can't get out there immediately to get you, so he might have to auto reticle or do something. But it's at least gonna mess up his timing. I don't blame you for going side B, but it's just kind of like a really
I
cheesy way to
I
lose
did
your
do that.
stock.
Yeah, I did do that in later sets. I did some like funny RB angles and shit, trying to mix it up.
Yeah.
Like I got spiked like twice for this. I was like, all
If
right,
anything, you know what you could pull from this is okay. He's coming down from a stock. Be really mindful of your positioning relative to him. Try not to give him a chance to intercept you until his invincibility runs out or something, or you can hit him. You know, hell, even stay grounded and stay center stage and hold shield. If he grabs you at like 30, it's not the end of the world, you know. And just try
yeah.
and do it that way. But other than that, your first stock was really good. You were kind of just staying all over him. Nice. See, there you go, baiting it out again, using some of that movement to get right in his face. How does he hit you? I think he jumps over it. Yeah, jumps over your down air. That's something you could do too. If you're fighting him and he's jumping around like in a corner like this, right? So he's limited in his terms of movement. So I get why you went for the down air, right? You're like, okay, he's probably just gonna fall. You might not have reacted the best. Let me, yeah, because you were jumping here, right? So as he jumps, you then start your jump. Um, and then you go for the down air. But like, you know, you could have also just read his jump or try and keep it in mind. Maybe you do a rising up air to catch him, maybe like a full hop nair, although that's a little weird. Back air potentially, but just be mindful. Like Palos like to stay in the air. Remember they have their back air. back is to you, so it'd be very likely that they would just be like, you know what, I'm gonna try and get this backer out, and catch you on the ground. So that's something to be in mind of. So they're not just going to like lock themselves into that corner and let you come in for free. Gets the forward air, quick little 30, nothing too bad though. I would say for the most part, you're definitely kind of controlling that neutral. Generally, it's like I feel like you're opening up him up more, but when he catches you, it's like you're just not expecting it. Like right there, how you just kind of landed after the fair, and then he just came in on you with his own forward air, popped you up, got a little two piece. But when it's like a back and forth, you're generally pretty good. The corner might be where you're at your weakest because it seems like he's hitting you a lot there.
Yeah, he fucked me up on ledge,
Like
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 all day.
looking at this, right? Like you're pressuring him. Normally, you've had very little problem kind of fucking him up in this middle area, baiting it out. But here, you dash attack and you don't know. You definitely get grabbed there. Um, you could have been like, all right, I whiffed. You're probably gonna shield. You're probably gonna do something. Let me throw out a grab real quick. You have a pretty fast grab. You end up naring, and it's fine to retreat here, right? Why not maybe just if you're not sure what he's doing, you could throw out a couple lasers. You could be like, hey, respect this. I'm gonna get a little bit of damage on. See if you want to approach me. But instead you opt to like run back in, go for an up smash. Trying to like force it, not the worst play, but it is one of those things where it's a risk, so you get back aired for it, right? It's like, do you really need to take that when you could either just try and tech chase him or down air setup or just kind of knock him off into a bad spot and catch him with a straight back air. So I don't think the up smash was the worst option, but I think you could have tried to be a little bit more patient about it, and kind of just get him into a spot where he'll swing. Because this corner, he's essentially like, okay, yeah, my back's to the wall, so he opts to use the air as his space, like you're doing that other spot, and you're keeping it very like limited to yourself. You're only looking at it in terms of just stage position right here, when it's all the way up here that he's really catching you and messing you up. I don't like that. I don't like that directional air dodge. You should have neutral air dodge there, right? Because like
Yeah,
you neutral air dodge that, you're perfectly fine. You get into the ground, but instead you do that, so you get forward aired. So here, right, this up smash was kind of not great, but I thought you were gonna turn around up smash him here now, and instead you opted to dash attack. Um,
yeah. I whiffed the committal one, so I took the
yeah,
fast
understandable.
option.
Alternatively, you could have also down smashed if you weren't sure where he was gonna be. Like, yeah, it's not gonna kill because of the side you're on, and it's not gonna pop him up, but like you're not getting anything anyway. So that is one of the nice things about Fox is that all the smash attacks are really fast. So
Yeah.
that's a good way to just kind of be like, hey, get off me real quick, and I put you off stage or I put you wherever, and then it gets away. So that's something to keep in mind as well. You definitely want to utilize your entire toolkit. I can see that you want to up smash. There it
Yeah, yeah.
is.
It's
You're,
there's a few points where I'll start doing that. I
so
just start running around trying to bait
yeah,
something.
I like the back air here. I like that back air to jump up to try and be like, hey, I'm now catching you in the air. Don't do that. And then you go to the up tilt, you miss. But that's when you gotta be a little bit cleaner on your spacing there and know where to hit them. Good angle. I'm gonna
That little jump by ledge there, I always do, and I died to pirate side B like twice for it. That's a habit I need to fucking stop as well.
let me see sneezing there. Yeah, pyro will definitely mess you up for that. Yeah, gotta stop up smashing. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
stop. I don't know if you saw the set recently. I think it was that glitch. It was Meister versus Light, and
Oh, yep, yep, yep.
Light
I reckon
just
I know exactly what
kept
you're gonna say.
grabbing him. He kept grabbing him. He kept taking it slow, and he started to open him up later on towards the set, right, and get some more hits and stuff. But he realized early on he can't do whatever he wants. He can't, and you have to have that same like the moment you realize somebody's not going to let you do that, they're not going to let you up smash. They're not going to let you do that all the time. And you should know by the fact that it's second stock East, you're already a high percent. That's when you're like, okay, if he wants to hold shield, he wants to do whatever. I'm going to start punishing that and really pay attention. And I felt like here, you're a bit too tunnel visioned on wanting that kill. You're not even in like um recognizing the information he's giving you. You're not going okay shielding all the time. You're going all right. He's dodged a couple up smashes, but I don't think you were ever really acknowledging how he's dodging them, why you're missing them, and what you need to do instead. It was more so okay. I messed up. We'll try it again later, and that's a clear difference there in correcting that issue. So you definitely deserve that back though.
Yeah.
Like another up smash. He still has a double jump. He has no reason to land on that. Hell, if he really wanted to be cheeky, he could have spaced it well and back air through it because it's invincible, right? He could have said, no, I don't think that's going to work. Where instead, you could just up air him, up air there again, dash attack. That's the time where you could dash attack, right? Because then he's going to come down potentially, and if he jumps, yeah, you might still get punished, but you're safer than this. Or you could just do like empty movement, try and get him to double jump out of there, and then see if he's burned a resource, and then try and punish him. Right? That's another thing you can do too. You can just use your presence to scare him into picking options and ruin what he's doing. It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, no grab there either. Finally got it. Yep. Bates, he used that movement there to get you, right? So he goes in, throws out the nair, and then he's retreating back. And even if you were coming at him, I don't know if you're going to win that trade. You're probably going to trade, if anything, right? If you do hit each other, because he's got his nair out. So it's not even like ideal for you in that case, because his nair is going to pop you in some weird way. You might catch him with forward air, but he's at 0 and you're 56, so you're losing that interaction. So, you could maybe have been a little bit more patient or done a different option. I just don't know if the fair would have been the best there, especially considering the fact that he just grabbed you. That I don't think was terrible. In this case, right? Like you're rising through the ledge, you haven't grabbed it, you're poking there. Whereas dropping down from the ledge and rising over it with the forward air in that case was a little bit more dangerous. There also it worked fine, right? Because the spacing's totally different. He's at the ledge overextending, but when he's got
Yeah.
all that space from like here onwards, and he can start setting up his own. Oh, I have my nair out. That's when you need to change up how you're intercepting that. Mm, with a dash attack. I like this here. I thought you were gonna up tilt. I know up tilt's not safe, but I figured he would try and jump out since he was cornered. The up air might not, or the up tilt might not have called him, but it definitely dash attack wasn't what I was expecting. I like that ledge patience. That was really good. That was like biding your time, going, okay, I'm gonna wait till I get an opening. So you're a little worried to go in. I understand you're kind of like kill percent. Go for the down air. That I'm not sure what that was. Looks like you kind of just ran, but you maybe messed up on your thought process. Had a little kink in it real quick. Slowed down a little bit. That was really good. There's the patience. Why you could have done that the whole game where you're waiting, throwing out like nothing, then you catch him with a nair. I honestly, I feel weird saying this because I'm not a Fox player, so I don't know. I feel like I don't see Fox players do it that much, but they definitely will. But like, there's so many instances where you could just get a couple percent here and there with a laser too. Like you guys are full screen, not approaching. You're both trying to feel each other out. Punish him for that, right? Just let me get a little bit of percent. Let me make you approach me. Let me make you do something. It's
I did that a little bit in all like in the grands that we're about to watch,
yeah.
but it's I don't know. It just feels so like laggy and like I'm with it like full stage sometimes, but especially against Palu with like auto reticle, it's like
I
I get 2%,
will
she gets like 14.
try and watch because I feel like there's a way where you can kind of intercept them real quick. I could be wrong. Like and I'm glad you have an example of it next in the next game, but it feels weird because there are times where I see you and she's like doing nothing. Hell, you could even like jump right when she's jumping and just shoot it full screen and just try and pop her. And even if you're not going to hit, it's like it's something I do with Olimar that's very similar, where it's like I just throw this out to make you do something, right? Like I'm making you respect a certain option and stuff like that. So this is you fighting him, and you are a bit more on edge.
Reset. Yeah, this is yeah. I started like this is the game where I started being like, oh shit, wait, like I should probably be panicking.
Okay. Okay. PS2.
This whole set was on PS2.
Gotcha. Like there, I don't think you really need a laser. It's not like the end of the world if you did, right? Because you guys are still kind of close. But like this is like you run back. That's not really like I'm talking like when you guys are like full screen doing nothing. You just trying to get a pot shot out. But no, it's fine. You didn't get punished. That's an interesting run up shield. Big problem. So you dash attack.
Yeah,
I
he just
think
I did no shoot.
either a roll or a spot dodge would have been here. Or even if you really think he's gonna come in, not necessarily like a dash attack, but just gonna come in. You could jab, dash attack. You don't want to jab because you're gonna lose. And that's what I was thinking. Okay, maybe spot dodge tries to cover multiple things here, but he ends up grabbing the shield. So just maybe just be a little bit more confident in mixing that up. Like thinking exactly how is he going to punish me, right? So then you can go, all right, I think he'll do this. An example I could give you is when I fight Shulk with Olimar, my up smash fresh with purple. It's -8, so his air slash is -10. So there's like that mix up there. It's like, okay, he can grab me if I shield because, his grab comes out frame 11 or whatever. I'm stuck on shield. But I can spot dodge his air slash. So it creates like a 50-50. And it's like I have to be more confident in reading what he's going to do or thinking and keeping up with all that stuff. And I think that's there what you can do too. So you don't just fall into the habit of like always shield after this stuff. Because when you have characters that have maybe a more robust grab game, Palu definitely being one of them, you want to keep in mind when you're throwing out that shield and be ready to maybe commit to something else, especially at a lower percent, right? Wherever you do spot dodge, it's not the end of the world. Like if you end up getting punched on a spot dodge, it's no different than if you're getting grabbed off that shield anyway. So you might as well be able to try it and stuff like that. But it could have been because you were a little bit more on edge, like you were saying before. So you were just scared. You wanted to try and cut down anything he was doing. But that's something worth keeping in mind in the future.
Yep.
Intercepts you with the back air. She was able to space a lot better than you there. Like she let you come. That's what I'm talking about, right? Where you get like one or two, and it's just percent, and then you don't fuck around anymore. You're using the distance between you guys well enough to catch her. And it was about the same distance as before. It just ended up being a really good spacing. That was a huge pivot grab.
Yeah, he grabs my foot. Yeah, and yeah, pallet pivot grab.
There you end up, so you get hit here, right? And you're like, okay, I got hit. And I think it wouldn't have been a bad idea to retreat this platform, right? You're already committing to the jump to get out of there, which is good. But here you're like, I think I can get him, but you can't. He's already committing to another neutral layer to catch you. So maybe just like recognize, all right, I lost the interaction. He caught me with a pivot grab or whatever it is. I'm in the air. Let's reset. Let's get my footing again so I can approach him in a more neutral setting instead of trying to brute force my way down against a character with some of the best disjoints in the game. He's definitely catching you a lot this game with things like that falling aerials, and I think that's probably because you're not paying attention enough to his general spacing, right? Like you're thinking you can get in there, he's gonna be vulnerable, but he's just falling with that aerial. Whereas you need to wait till he's on the ground or he's about to hit it, he can't do anything. Alternatively, if you're really confident in that, you can just be like, all right, yeah, I see you're that high, I'm gonna run in and parry. And Fox is a really aggressive parry character because his frame data is so strong. Hell, Light is known for that shit.
Yeah.
So being confident and being able to go, all right, I'm gonna call you out here and I'm gonna do that's really important. But if not, you can't just keep running into this the back air. You have to be a little bit more mindful of that. Hell, even run away a little bit, take a pot shot or two with your laser and see if he approaches you and gives you an opening instead. There, I think you just. I don't blame you for going for the up air because it's definitely one of those things where it can combo into it plenty. But the way he DI'd slash the percentage and stuff, it just didn't
Yeah.
work out well. Like a short hop nair probably would have been better, or a short hop dare.
Yeah, I was just not paying attention to his percent there. Like I know, like
Yeah,
how do you confirm off that? I was just a
gotcha.
dummy.
That was really greedy. I'm not sure what your thought process there was. So you end up getting into a full stage scene. Go for the laser, right? You get a percent or two. He auto reticles, hits nothing. That's perfect. So here, what you need to do, if you're running in, it's like, okay, put up shield. You either need to start the approach and fall with that nair, fall with that down air, or run up grab, right? Maybe even tomahawk grab if you want to scare him into shield. But instead, you run up, then you rising nair. Extremely unsafe, and you end up getting grabbed for it. That was just probably the worst way to approach there. Like I was saying, you want to do those falling arrows. You want to keep the pressure up. Tomahawk grab's also going to mix him up because that movement's going to keep it ambiguous. He's not going to know what's happening. Then you can run up, give him a grab, either up throw, forward throw, whatever it is, put him in a bad spot. But those rising arrows you have to watch, especially with his back to the wall as well. He's going to be able to get that back though. Sure, it's not going to kill you only at 80, but it's going to send you pretty far off stage and put you in a really rough spot. There, I think you're a little bit off on your timing. Like, all right, you hit the nair, that's fine. Up till here, this is fine. This dash attack should have been connecting. I think you were just a smidge too slow. Good back air intercepting him. There, I like the back air, right? Like, see where your spacing's at. You see he's gonna jump, then you let him do his thing. You let him land because you wait, right? You don't just run into it. And then you go, all right, he's probably gonna jump again. Pals like to jump, so then you come in and intercept on the back air, and that's a clear difference between you just running in when he's in the air and catching him, and then letting him land and then punishing him on his like soft reset essentially. And I think that's a clear distinction that you want to try and make when you're fighting more people. You can mix up your timing. Sure, you can run it on that first time, but you're just gonna have to change what your option is depending. And here, you got that jump out way beforehand, and you're able to intercept him. Because remember, like I was saying on the FD game, right? He's cornered. His option is jump. He wants to put out those hitboxes, so there you were able to exploit that. So much better. It definitely feels like watching this set compared to your last one. Here, you're much more, I don't want to say scared, but reserved on certain things. You're shielding a lot more interactions. You've run into some stuff similarly, but you're not like letting attacks just fly. Granted, it's only a minute in, but it feels like here you're like a lot more serious in the way you're playing. Like it's like, okay, I'm trying to get these confirmed. You're not perfect on it. You're making execution errors, sure, but there's a difference in like general safetiness that you're displaying. That was just not great. Shield.
I think I
Remote
think
shield.
I went for like a greedy parry there and fucked up. Like I should have just dashed out.
Probably.
Either that or it was a dash
There was a
out.
good
One of the
chance
two.
where you're stuck in your skid animation, right? So it could have been that, or you're still in the dash or whatever, and it just made it really awkward. But it's like, is there even a point to parry? He's still in invincibility, you know? So you just go,
Yeah,
no,
no,
I don't want to mess
exactly.
with that.
Greedy parry.
Or just regular shield, same strong option. You can't die off a grab there. Even if he does somehow back throw you, you're too far into the stage. I like that get up attack a lot, kind of brute forcing your way through using that invincibility. That laser was terrible.
Yeah,
But,
that one was shit.
it is what it is. But once again, like, he grabs you, you don't die, so it's not the end of the world. It's just, yeah. I really like that neutral air. So here again, right? You put him on the ledge, and then what do Palas like to do? They like to jump. So you intercept them. They're very aerial-based characters. And the nice thing is this Nair falls, so there's a very likely chance it would have called a regular get up too. You might have been able to react to the roll as well potentially. This Pala was very much set on her own thing of getting in the air first, and since she was doing that ledge jump, she can't necessarily rise immediately with an aerial unless she was to drop down and jump, and that's a good way to punish that. So you kind of had the mental advantage in that moment there over her. Good, getting that free damage. Loving it, loving it. You just gotta extend that lead. So you cut your lead short, right? This is something that a lot of players do, and so let's talk about the state. You're in advantage. You're controlling. She's stuck at ledge. Doesn't know how to get back. What you can do is you can keep widening that gap. You can keep being confident in yourself to outplay her here or do whatever, get your chip damage, or find a very strong confirmed kill percent. Or you can take a Hail Mary and just throw it out and try and kill her. And what you end up doing is you end up going, all right, I'm just gonna throw it out randomly. I'm gonna try and blow you up right now. It might kill with bad DI with whatever. It's an F smash at 70 with rage, but it was just not great. And up smash might have been better if you would have spaced it better, but that up smash was just really bad. Like I don't think it was worth doing at all. I think you could have pressured in a lot of other ways that weren't that. The spacing on it wasn't even ideal. You didn't even hit her shield, and you ended up dying for it. So definitely, uh, don't think you can't just keep pressing like a safe poking advantage, getting that free chip damage, and widening that gap. Because that's the big thing at the end of the day. Like you die here, she's at 70. Okay, what if you died here and she's at 110 because you just kept poking her, right? That's something that you can do with a character that has really quick buttons that just gets a lot of damage and nice little combos and stuff like that. All right. It was a weird interaction, but you came out positive, so I won't tell you don't always side B in them like that, but
There's a couple where I either autopilot did it and hated myself after, or I had one where the very end of side B not having a hitbox kind of fucked it. It was like a slight misspace.
gotcha. So this downer here was not bad at all. You go for the up tilt. He kind of escapes with the nair. That's fine. This though, see, let's think back to that last game on FD, right? Where you were fishing for up smash for the longest time, and you eventually ended up killing him off of a nair up smash. From what I've seen in these sets, your raw up smash hit percentage is terrible.
Yeah.
So just slow it down. You have a lead. This to me comes off as either extremely overconfident and assuming you're going to have all these reads, which I don't think is a fair assumption to make given the fact that you don't hit them that often, or a I need to end this set now mentality. I'm not confident in fighting him for a prolonged period of time, and that means you need to kind of look more inward and go, what am I so scared of him doing this, of doing this? Okay, well let's find ways to get kills that isn't just throwing them out raw. You're not playing Olimar. You don't get to hit the C stick whenever you want. You have to be a little bit more articulated about certain things and try and set it up, or instead you get dash attacked and then opened up and then whatever. Fantastic back air. That's that really awkward pressure to deal with. No one likes that, right? You just make it super uncomfortable. Dodges grab, hit him with another back air. It was fantastic. I like that patience there a lot. I thought he would jump out, right?
He was mixing up between doing nothing and air dodging back.
Yeah,
So I
no,
was
that
I was ready to pivot grab, and then when he did nothing, I was like, all right,
yeah,
I'm
that
just gonna
was good.
dash
That
stick.
little bit of patience, like since he hit his options were turning into that, you just waited, get another little opening on him, get some extra damage, and that's what you want to do right now. You're just looking for damage at this point, just trying to lap him in percent and stuff like that. I think you're a little too. So like here is where you could have up smash, right? You're sitting in shield, so up smash is already an option that you can do out of shield. You want to pay attention to what he's doing and see, oh, he's coming down here. Let me catch him with an up smash real quick. I think your up smash is 8.
Yeah,
Um,
6 or 8, one of the two. I
yeah,
think it's
it's
8.
it's crazy fast, right? So you could just be like, oh, I see you coming down. Bam, now I'm gonna up smash you. Because you can use up smash at low percent. You can use it in times, and since you leave yourself in shield so long, you're literally in shield for like an entire second of just sitting there that you're not scared. You could have even rolled out if you weren't sure, right? But instead you opt to stay there and get grabbed. So I think pulling the trigger on something would have been better there than just sitting there. Because, if you did mess it up there, it would have made sense to go for it, but you also wouldn't have died. Miss again. So right now, what's happening is he's in the corner, right? He's been in the corner for a hot minute, but you are not pressuring this well. You're doing really static movement. Like, watch how you hit this down air. So it's a very small, like, hop almost. You're not committing to a full in down air. You're not getting a lot of spacing winding up. You're not scaring him into anything. You're breaking out of disadvantage momentarily, right? You get on ledge, bam, you're out of disadvantage. You hit him, okay, and then now you're in this weird neutral. You're not spacing appropriately. You're just going up. Now I'm coming in, and you miss. That's different than when you got him before on the other side of the map, where you ran more like half stage and you back aired. You baited his jump. Here, he's doing the same thing. He's still jumping, but your spacing is compromised because you're not adjusting for the fact that you're closer. You're trying to treat it the same, but it's not, and then you get grabbed. You need to be more mindful of your stage positioning and how it's going to change the way you're approaching him. You can't fight the same as you would half a stage away and a quarter stage away because he's going to be able to react to certain things better. You're going to space differently. You're just not going to be able to bait the same things out. But he's doing a lot of the same thing. Good. Hmm. I thought you were going to grab here. Nice. Solid stuff. But do you see what I'm talking about when I start talking about like the way he's handling the ledge? Does that make sense to you? What he's doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and recognizing stage positioning is going to be a huge thing for you because not only does it let you know, like, okay, I need to, change up my game plan a certain bit, or I need to space a certain way, but those stage positioning acknowledgments essentially are going to help educate you on what your opponent wants to do because they have certain things. Nobody likes being in the ledge. Well, except like Wii Fit Trainer, but it's like putting them in that spot and going, okay, so I know you're in a limited space. Your character's tools are very much really good in the air, Palutena being good in the air, aside from things on the ground like a grab where you want me to overcommit, you want me to overshoot so you can grab me, and stuff like that. So you need to start doing that. And if you're ever unsure, right, you could call it giving up stage control, sure, but if you don't want to risk that, literally run full stage and just wait. Like, come approach me. Palu can't approach very well. Palu's an extremely defensive character. Um, and one of her weaknesses is her shield like heavy pressure game, especially post nerf, right? With Fair taking a hit, so it's even harder. So you could be up a stock and you could be like, you know what, come fight me. It's not always the most fun, and I'm not saying to do it all the time, but if you're unsure, right? Maybe you lost your stock there and you weren't feeling too comfortable or whatever, and you didn't feel like you knew exactly how to get in. Literally run away. Be like, you know what, you come play my game, and then you try and get her out of her comfort zone, leverage the fact that you're winning the game, and roll with it. But comparatively between the first and second set here, I think there was a bit of a difference. First game, you felt a lot more kind of like loose, doing a lot of whatever you wanted. It kind of just changed on the fly. Much more heavy-handed with your up smashes. So this game specifically, I liked how you weren't doing it as much. That was really good. Um, but there's here times here where it felt like you were maybe a little bit too I don't want to call it tunnel vision, but maybe focused on getting the kill in a different way. Whereas before, it was like, I'm just throwing it out. I think I can hit him, blah, blah, blah. This is more like, okay, I have to hit him. I'm not respecting what he's doing. I'm not always evaluating what game plan he's taking, and you're getting a little bit too focused on just yourself. Mm. I think a roll out of shield would have been really good here instead of the attack because he ends up catching you. Good jump away. See now you're mixing it up a bit better. You're getting in and out. You're not always committing stuff, going for some grabs, and you're keeping it just a bit more ambiguous. And I think this is really good because right now it looks really hard for him to pin you down using a lot of movement. He catches you with that nair again. Backwards hit of nair is really awkward, so I don't blame you for getting caught by that. That move's just kind of a crime.
Yeah, I like habitually SDI forwards too. So like,
Yeah. It's just
if
like
I get tapped my back down,
ripping
probably
you
going
into
in.
it. Yeah, I understand. So he ends up just catching you there. A little awkward on the shield drop. I don't blame you for doing it because it was like if you watch how you do it, you like whiff, and then you're like, okay, now I shield. And in your mind, you're like, I'm safe, but then you're not considering how he's getting down there. So it is one of those things where, maybe in the future when you're fighting Palu, if they're in the air, if they're shielding or whatever it is, or if they're not, if they're nairing and you're shielding, it might just be worth to commit to that shield the entire time they're around you with an air, because it is a bit difficult to thread that needle and try and have you not get hit here. So maybe just being a little bit more consistent on holding the shield will help a lot. Nice. Oh, that was really good. There again, punching the jump from him again. Huge. Um, I don't blame you for going for the up air there. I thought he was going to land on the platform.
He'd been ledge canceling a lot, so I was just calling out
No,
ledge cancel.
that was totally understandable. Realistically, the answer there would have been up smash, but given the way he'd been doing it, like you said, and the way it even looked there, I don't blame you for going for the up air. You could have grabbed him. You 100% could have grabbed him.
Yeah, that was an accidental footstool rather than a
Okay,
jump on him.
gotcha,
So I went a lot higher than I expected.
gotcha. Catch you the dash attack there. Now he's a little more of the grounded moves. Okay, so you knock him up here. You go back in neutral. You're kind of feeling him out, and then after the nair, you shield. What are you shielding? There's none to shield here. Because you try an up smash, I think, and then he grabs
Yeah.
you. If you would have just committed to that attack instead of shielding, right, there's a good chance you would have caught him. It's probably more like an auto response where like, okay, I whiffed my attack, now time to pick a defensive option. Um, but in that moment, he didn't do anything because it's not like you would have been able to shield the aerial because you already committed to the neutral air, right? You're gonna have that landing lag. So at most, you would have been shielding him landing jab, something like that, right? Like an immediate attack after. So you needed to have been more keen on where he is and going, all right, I've committed to this neutral air. If I land, maybe I could spot dodge, right? That'll beat grab, potentially. But I need to be ready to attack, or I need to just attack immediately after. Because that's not the same as like you landing as he's still in the air and then catching you with like an aerial and spacing. And he was already going down too. You already committed to the attack. If you were going to get hit, you were going to get hit. So I think that was more of like a habitual shield where you just kind of go through the
Yeah.
motions instead of one where you really like, yes, I should not have done that. I liked the wait there. So he waits, or he goes in. You wait. I think you honestly could have kept
That's
waiting. But you could have also rolled. I think when you jumped, because watch what happened. I'm gonna take it frame by frame. He's already committed to the dash by the time you start something. So then he kind of catches you with there. Good chance you could have rolled, right? Like he did two down tilts, one kind of at a roll's distance away. And since you're waiting, his general rhythm is fucked on timing. Like yes, he could read or I guess really hard react to certain options of what you're doing. But since he was back here before, his next option is gonna go, okay, cover here, you're still waiting. So rolling in can kind of mess him up. He could have potentially got you, but note like how when you jumped, he started running in. So I think a roll there would have been really good, given the fact that you waited in his general spacing before. Because if he's at like a roll distance away and you roll in, but he's been waiting, he's gonna get trigger happy and usually go in. Good air dodge. I think you were a little slow on what you did after there. Like you definitely, like yeah, you shielded right.
yeah.
Whereas you could have maybe even landed into a jab. Like if you turn around, be like, hey, I've got frame two jab. Let me try and get you off me real quick. But I don't blame you for shielding. Okay, a little bit of a risky get up attack, but not the worst, right? I like the patience once again at the ledge. He wasn't throwing out a really well spaced down tilt or anything like that, so you're able to just kind of econ by, let him overcommit, and then you catch him. Good, running out of invincibility. I don't think you were just taking into account your shield being so low here, because you end up
Yeah,
getting
that
shield
definitely
poke,
was.
so that's just a bit of an oversight on your part. Okay, so right here, right, he's running back. This is where you don't want to roll. This is where like a regular get up would be really good, right? Because he's awkwardly waiting. He comes in with that, so now he's going to dash back. This is different than what he did before, and the reason is he's approaching normal position, normal get up position, right, with this snare, like as if he's gonna do it, right? So yes, it's a feint because look, he goes back, and then he runs back and forth. You're waiting, and then you roll, and you roll right into him. where if you would have done a regular get up, maybe even a jump, you would have been fine. But that's different than when he was like down tilt over here, down tilt right here, and then run in. Those are two different styles of of ledge trapping. One was he's throwing it out and he's trying to get you to pick a regular option, and then he's messing up his time because you're waiting. The second one is he is constantly waiting at roll distance. And he caught you there. So I think when you're waiting at the ledge, which I definitely do like in a lot of cases, be mindful of what he's doing. If he's swinging at a certain area, really pay attention to that and see where he's at in relation to you and which option you think is going to make it the hardest for him to do. And in this case, you might have thought it was roll or whatever, but that was the closest to him, so he was able to adjust his thing, his spacing really quick and grab you. There's a whole mental aspect to edge guarding and ledge trapping, especially ledge trapping, where certain things are going to elicit a certain response out of people, and knowing kind of that flow chart that people go through and how to exploit it is huge. Same thing there again. Watch. See? He fakes it out. He goes in. Hey, I'm coming up here. Nope, just kidding. I'm gonna drift back. Perfect. Roll distance away. Grab you. Good. Good. Good use of the shield to break up his back airs. That up smash was not great. It's like right there, right? That was a good example of you doing it. So, this is something I do with Olimar a lot as well, but I usually use down air, like I'll do like a run off down air. But note how you do this, right? So you're hitting here. This dude's terrified. Watch how he immediately picks the roll because he's scared. He doesn't. His mind hasn't been able to register real quick that he's safe. It's just thought, no, he's got a hitbox out. It's lingering near the ledge. I have to roll. So what you do, you run, you immediately turn around, you coverage roll, you up smash him. You could probably react to it, to be honest. But it's like one of those things where because you're running to the ledge, you're running off the ledge, whatever it is, right? You're occupying that immediate space with a hitbox. It threatens him. His mind goes, I have to pick the answer with the most distance between us, right? The farthest thing away from the ledge. What is that roll? You punish him for doing that. So that's something, I don't know if you even knew that in that moment, but it's something you work on in the future. If you want to pressure the ledge like that, it's why sometimes when you run up to the ledge against people, they buffer roll, they panic. And that's exactly what this was here. You just ended up not capitalized on it. You kind of went in with him, but you just didn't do anything. That was so unfortunate.
That's the one I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. I don't blame you for going for the side B. It could have been a really cool setup. What sucked here was the fact that you just, I think you could have spaced that nair better, honestly. It was a bit high, right?
Yeah, no, I could have. Yeah, could have spaced it closer to the ground. Like
That's hitting
it was pretty
literally
high.
the top of her shield.
Yeah.
So, you that was very much a you messed up, accept it. All right, don't do that again, move on. If you are going to side B, space the nair better, you should be fine. So right here, right, you get hit. You're not, you go for the back air. You're still sitting in her face. You are not adjusting your spacing. You're not doing anything. This isn't a character who's worried. You're just throwing it out and hoping, right? And that's one of those ones where you could maybe reset, get some distance real quick, because you're playing on her tempo now, where you've messed up, you've been hit, and now you're trying to force it in. Yeah, you can go for a read. It could work, but it's not. Like they call you, they're holding shield. They're recognizing that you're not super comfortable. Um, because look, she dodges, she jumps out, she holds shield. She jumps off your timing, and then you're trying to make up, and that's because, like I said, you're on her tempo. So that's why a soft reset, running away, resetting your position or your spacing momentarily can allow you to then get back in there on a much more comfortable thing. You're more in control. You can adjust your spacing better. You can do what they're doing. But when you're trying to brute force your way through what you're in right now, where it's already all off, it's going to be a lot harder, and it's going to open you up for more punishes. Accepting when you've lost that interaction in a sense is huge. That up smash would have been perfectly fine if you would have just pulled the trigger a hair earlier.
Yeah. I was kind of assuming the parry would come through, but that's just slow reaction off of not. Yeah.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, that game, honestly, it felt like you were perfectly fine. You just, big things, you didn't recognize when you were in a rough spot and disadvantage, so you ended up overshooting, or not overshooting, but like, you didn't recognize when you were technically in stage control, but it was Palo at the ledge, so they were comfortable enough. Um, and you would be off and you would mess up, and you kept trying to push it instead of going, you know what, I got to reset real quick. And I think that would have helped you a lot. Even as a player, just help kind of reset mentally and go, all right, yeah, I know what to do here. I'm fine. I just got to readjust my footing real quick, and I'll be able to get on him. Um, Definitely pull your trigger a bit quicker on the smashes, and just watch the spacing when you're um, pressuring a shield with aerial stuff like that. Make sure you're spacing it as tight as possible, because there was a lot of times where he'd grab you at the ledge and stuff when you just didn't need to be grabbed.
It's a very rough start.
Yeah, like there, that spot dodge wasn't great. You know, um, I
I did that spot dodge in the thought process of back air dash tech, is what I was assuming,
okay, but
because
you
that's
could
like
shield.
true.
Shield's faster, right?
True.
So the spot dodge really only answers grab. I guess technically, yeah. If you or spot dodge, you could dash tag or
Generally,
spot
a
dodge with
low
dash tag.
percent he goes for either if he lands a back air or a fair, he'll go for a dash tech or a grab
Yeah,
after it.
it is a
Like
mix-up,
they
right? It's just thinking about the greater scope here. Shield covers everything except grab, right? If he dash attacks, you get a punish. If he nairs, you shield it, right? These multi-hits are dangerous to spot dodge because you're going to get caught by it. So it's one of those things where, shield is a little bit more consistent overall there. And yeah, you do run the risk of getting grabbed, but they also run the risk of getting fucked up. You have to be confident in that call out. And this call out uh, loses the neutral air, and you just called out wrong. It's kind of a hindsight thing. I'm not saying never spot dodge, just I don't think it was the better
Yeah.
play there. Shield would have been more consistent
Yeah.
at covering things.
Yep.
So you jump away here again, really good, right? You're like, okay, I'm at a disadvantage, but then you just immediately come back on him, and you land with a nair dodge. So you're not even falling with anything. You're just kind of like, hey, I'm right here, landing in front of you with no protection. And it's like, if you're gonna land, okay, maybe try and catch him on your way down with a back air or something, right? Like you jump out of this, try land with the nair, try land with the back air, or if you're gonna jump away, get away from him. Maybe make it seem like you're gonna fall here, and then like directional air dodge onto here or something like that, right? But this just like opened yourself up for a free punish. Could have grabbed that for sure, or even slightly delay the dash attack and catch him on his jump, right? But instead, you kind of just run into him and he catches you with the neutral air. That was a cheeky forward smash, but it worked. Definitely could have punished that up tilt. Like I know you're scared, but like being able to kind of go, yeah, I have an opening here, even if you're not sure, right? Because like, what if he shields? What does he do after this? He jumps, right? If you would have ran in there, dash attack, ran in there, up tilted, done something, I think you definitely would have punished him. Um, but because it's like it's not like you didn't try to punish him. You immediately go for a back air. It's just kind of a I'll try and catch him in the air, and then you end up getting punished. So I think if you didn't want to commit to that punish overall, you should have been like, okay, I'm just gonna get out of there and try and not mess with it. Good neutral air. Wow.
Yeah, he waited way too long on
Wow.
the
All
thing.
right.
That's why I just
Yeah.
if they don't roll out after the 11th, I just
No,
hold it.
I totally agree with you. That was you should have been dead, but good on you for catching him slipping. Good jump away. Get that damage. See? Pot shots. A little bit of extra damage here and there. That's all you gotta do. That was really good down his part. He's definitely caught a lot of time to those side Bs, but it's also like not. It's bound to happen with Fox, right? Like let's see what happened
Yeah.
there actually.
Like, he just reacted and walk off Ned.
So you had jump. You could have jumped before you side beat, right? Because there's been a habit of him kind of intercepting those side Bs. Um, so definitely you could have mixed it up a bit better, so he didn't have an easier time intercepting you. You could have jumped, maybe gone for an up B, jump goes for side B, but you're kind of just letting the side B do the heavy lifting in that neutral, or in not the neutral, sorry, in the off stage game. And he's just having a really easy time intercepting that. So don't be afraid to mix up your options, especially if someone's caught on, and use those other resources first. Like right here. Oh god. You just run away. Be like, all right, I missed there. Cool, I'm out. But instead, you run in and he catches you with hit. He can rising aerial. You don't. Not very commonly. Like if you're both going at each other, he's more than likely going to win the interaction unless you somehow intercept him far before. But he's already in the air before you, right? So maybe just don't. If you mess up, don't run at him like that. Just be like, all right, I'm gonna go space out a little bit, and I'll get some better spacing where I can approach with a falling aerial or whatever it is. Back here's off the down arrow. Oh, that was so good. Finally got one on him. Really solid time to do it too. Yes, get that percent. See what you're doing right here is perfect. Just percent, percent, percent. That's all that matters. Is getting him into a kill spot. That side B was terrible. That side B was also terrible. So you get hit here. Once again, you have jump.
Yeah.
What you're
The first one was a misface. The second one was autopilot. It was a dumb
yeah.
autopilot.
So both side B's a little bit rough. Just in the future, remember you have those other resources.
Yeah. Just be more conscious of resources
Yeah.
available.
When it's someone like Palo who can so freely intercept you out there, you have to be mindful. I like that runaway there. I think you just kind of stopped and that let the Palo hit you. Like you were fine, and then you go for the back air, but they were still coming in. Like there wasn't enough distance between you guys. And since she was falling, she had the advantage. I can feel you wanting a smash attack.
I like had to physically, verbally tell myself not
Yeah,
to.
like,
Like in
don't
my
throw
head,
it
I was
out.
like, no, like play safe, don't be a dumb cunt.
Oh yeah, that's good though. There it is. It's the
That
first
was
one.
meant to be an up tilt.
Okay,
That was a
gotcha,
misinput because I like kicked myself with that.
gotcha. Good mix up on the recovery there though. Like yeah, that angle on the Firefox was not the best, but that mix up right there is why you probably weren't dead. You could have gone maybe this straight, right, though. Good. Look at that. Look how hard it is to punish you when you mix it up. Perfect. You played good. You stopped being dumb, and you won. That was solid though. I like the mix-ups on that recovery towards the end. You caught a lot of what we were calling out and stuff. So towards the end, like you changed up, like you said, you weren't smash stacking. You made the tech error, sure, but then you made the larger adjustments to your disadvantage, so you weren't easy to intercept like you were a lot of the other part of this game. And I think that was really big. Um, But yeah, even this game too, and the one you lost comparatively to the FD set, like you're just much tighter here. It feels like as the set's going on too, you're kind of recognizing, okay, I got to really clean it up. Sure, you might not have all the answers in terms of disadvantage or how to properly pressure, and you still make those mistakes. But you're just like, I'm not going for massive, smash attack punishes all the time. You're slowing it down. There, it felt like a lot of the time, in those later stocks, you were really like, let me just widen the gap between us. Let me get my percent. Let me do whatever, and you would end up dying not because you know you tried to go for some cheesy thing per se, but because you would just maybe fuck up or miscalculate, and then they would get an opening and they would be able to push their advantage on you. So if you can kind of clean both of those up, you'll be able to widen those gaps better, hold your leads better, and then just overall get a kill. There's definitely some merit to slowing it down, even a character like Fox, when you're winning, because then your opponent can potentially mess up their own stuff, or you can see how they're going to respond, and that'll let you understand it better.
Alright.
But yeah, honestly, we probably don't have time for the Pyramithus. Or do you have any other things you wanted to bring up, or any questions or anything?
Fuck. Not really off the top.
Okay.
Um, I kind of just wanted to compare both because I know everywhere that you've said I've like cleaned up. Like I've cleaned up those errors is where I'm consciously telling myself not to do
Mhm. Mhm.
like pretty much exactly you're saying. Like I'm consciously in my own
That's what you
head
need. Yeah.
tell like yeah, rather than like relying on knowing it off
Yeah.
rip.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Like
it. There's that kind of like instinctual gameplay where you just kind of go through the motions, and there's that deliberate, like, do not do this, or don't do this now, or evaluate why I
yeah,
would want to do it. And the fact that you're doing that is huge, or at least more consistently and all that stuff, because that means you're able to identify not only not to do it, but why you shouldn't do it. You're going, the game state is not saying to do this, I should not, or if I'm going to, right, when you do decide to take those risks, you then can go, I fucked up. I took that risk. It was not necessary. I didn't need to do it. My read was not as educated as I thought. And then you can try and be better next time, because that is what it is a lot of times. Like, obviously, you want to win the tournament, you want to win whatever it is, but then you're able to kind of improve off of it more so for next time when you do make those mistakes. But yes, being able to acknowledge all of that stuff and that information and kind of soak it in when you're playing is huge. And I think you've definitely gotten better at that. Just thinking back to the first times we were doing these VOD reviews and stuff, like yeah, that FD game. But you even said you were kind of loose. You were swapping characters in the first few matches or whatever. So it wasn't
yeah.
like
The full Fizz tag is actually the wrong controller
yeah.
set too.
So Fizz.
Fizz is a PT player.
Yeah, so it wasn't even like a serious, like you really giving it all. Whereas there was a night and day difference. You were much more kind of composed in certain areas. Really like, okay, let me find my openings. You made some bad calls, sure, but we're all gonna do them even when you win. It's just about why was I making those bad calls? How can I improve a little bit better? What can I do to help keep myself in tip top shape? And you did that very well there. Um, but yeah, that's everything. I'll let you know when the session's uploaded and I'll send it your way.
Yeah, that's yeah, I just feel like I'm in that state of I was very real quick,
No, you're
sorry.
fine.
I was very focused obviously on not consistently landing on my opponent. I do think a little bit of the habit sleeps through where I jump towards
Yeah.
them even though I'm not landing on them. Um I don't know, sometimes I feel like I think I started doing it because getting away from them, especially because a lot of the people I was playing were like there was a Roy, obviously a
Yeah.
Mithra, a Palu. They're all those faster characters that will punish you for like, if you double jump side B away, they're able to get there in
Yeah.
time and punish you for that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I'm a bit stumped on that then, because my answer to that was to land on them, but not with error, like mix up whether I'm landing on
It
with something or
the
obviously just
reason
fast forward later.
I didn't think it always works because when you fast forward air dodge, it can work. Maybe you could have spaced that, like maybe the air dodge timing wasn't the best there, but it felt like that Palu was very dialed into punishing you on doing those, right? Because fast forward air dodging on someone is an option. I do it with Olimar a lot, and I'm slow as hell in the air. But it's like, when are you doing it, and could you do things better? I'm not saying you have to double jump fast or double jump side B away. Like I said, you could have maybe air dodged onto the platform, or you could have even fallen like a neutral air
Yeah,
and done something. Um,
yeah. No, I definitely like the faking out being like landing off a platform and
Yeah.
air dodging onto something I don't do that
It's
I
it's
should, like
uh
as an op.
it's a mix up thing too. Like when you're fighting, even I can't see, I don't have clips of the faster characters doing it, but like when if they're punishing you, okay, then maybe you do mix it up and you do go for the neutral air dodge. But against Palu, who covers a zone very well, like she'll throw out the nair and it just lingers. That's going to beat that very well, as opposed to someone like Fox who might go for, oh excuse me, a dash attack or something else like that. So you're not wrong. Definitely keep doing that if it's working, and it'll change based on the character. But implementing other options to help mix it up is going to be a big thing, because any of those options are going to lose value if you keep doing them.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. I just feel yeah. I definitely feel like I'm in the conscious phase of like I understand why kind of like why to do an option, but
Yeah.
how I'm
Yeah,
implementing it doesn't
it comes with time. Like, is
really.
that you're kind of at that
Yeah.
level where you're already evaluating a lot of things, and as you get it more, it's going to help break it down in your head. And you're like, okay, now I understand why I'm doing this or why it's happening. Or if you're not, you can go back and watch it and ask yourself, like, why did I do this here? What could I have done better? Let's try and work through and understand your own reasoning for it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, man.
Awesome.
Solid session.
All right.
Yeah, I
Cheers.
will catch you around.
Yeah. Thanks heaps, man. Yeah. Have a good day.